Okay, everybody, game is on. We have actually Euronics versus Morgan's Minions, and well, first of all, they are really, really fast with the bans here, but just to give you a bit of an update on what has been going on so far. Morgan's Minions, they won game number 1, and Euronics won the second game, so we are currently in the third map of the best of 3 series here at the end of the Storm playoffs, Group A, and we didn't cast the first 2 games just simply because they were on a different stream, but our games were done a little bit earlier, so we're going to cover this now as well. This is the third map. After this, the winner goes up against NaVi in the winners match. With me is Tetcher here. We have Zagara as a first ban, which I'm pretty excited about. We don't see these first bans on Tyrande the entire time anymore. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one as well. Euronics and Morgan's Minions, they have actually done very well in the last few weeks. If you watch the qualifiers, then you of course know that already. But let's find out what the 2 teams are going to show us here on Battlefield of Eternity, and let's find out together which team is going to be able to advance to face NaVi in the winners match.
And indeed, for now we're seeing a Falstad ban, which means Tyrande getting first picked, and Khaldor has slipped his way through the bans for the first time today. So we're going to be seeing him sneak in on the Battlefield of Eternity, likely for Morgan's Minions. Very unlikely that they'll let him slip as well over to Euronics.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun to see that for now, the first time we have Tyrande after the patch really taken as a first spot. In the games that we saw between TCM and NaVi, Tyrande was still picked, but it was rather late in the draft, and she was not such a high priority pick anymore. Looking at the bans here, of course, I mean, with the Zagara, you have just a massive amount of vision on Battlefield of Eternity, and you also have at the same time a nice amount of pushing power. I wouldn't be really surprised to see one of the teams go for Sylvanas here, since she's very good pushing with an Immortal. She's extremely powerful there. Morgan's Minions, with that Thrall early pick that we've seen throughout the entire tournament and also the qualifiers, he's one of the heroes that benefited a lot from the scaling changes. Still Khaldor's an option for Morgan's Minions here, but if they do that, they of course allow Euronics to go for a perfect Tyrande setup. But even though there were a couple of nerfs to the hero, she still can get that stacking process done. Depends, of course, all if you are able to just like snatch up one of these healers with cleanse to work against that or not. But yeah, that's exactly what the Morgan's Minions are currently thinking about as well.
Yeah, the new cleanse actually very good against the Tyrande combos. The Khaldor is picked up, and like you said, could be seeing a good healer with cleanse coming in to try and counteract this. Euronics, with the Tyrande, like you said, a huge stun potential can be set up here. Diablo, Muradin, plenty of options for just the mega stun combos.
Yeah, and in this case, I wouldn't really mind to see a Diablo here. I mean, Muradin is, of course, one of the priority picks that you usually see since he's just such a hit point heavy tank with an escape, a good stun, works very well with Tyrande. But one of the things that I really like on this map is that a lot of the fights happen around camps, and usually there's very limited space. So if you go into Apocalypse, you get a lot of value out of that. Especially also when you fight for the Immortal, it can be a really nice tool for the team. Depends a bit on playstyle, first of all, but for now they go into the ETC option, which of course could force now maybe an Uther ban on the side of Morgan's Minions. Then again, they have to think about what they want to do. I actually think that Morgan's Minions would rather pick up Uther than ban him out. First of all, they have a Divine Shield on Thrall, and of course Uther, one of those supports that usually takes cleanse on level 7 anyways. There's a couple of healers that we have that can't really pick cleanse without losing a lot of healing power at the same time. Good example would, for example, be Karazhan.
Yeah, Uther was pretty much always. Wave of Light was like the other talent that we maybe sometimes saw, but it was almost always cleanse on Uther. And I agree, they'll probably ban out something else here. Banning out, I appear to be a bit behind.
Yeah, Jaina has been banned out, and that's actually like a really good ban as well, because in that case, oh wow, no Uther ban, but instead Muradin. I mean, yeah, it makes sense to get rid of one of the best tanks, but still, that Uther, if you want to go into that CC chain, it could have been one of the bans from Euronic, eliminates one of the cleanse heroes, and also eliminates the Divine Shield. I would really like to see Uther now being played by Morgan's Minions, because making use of that new cleanse makes perfect sense.
The other option here for Euronics not banning out the Uther could be they maybe want to run Tyrande as a damage hero, and having the Uther banned out would have meant that Morgan's Minions would have picked up another hero, another support that might have taken away the one that Euronics wanted to go with. Is another option, but Muradin is just a solid ban in general, so plenty of options as to why that is the case. Like you predicted, the Uther being picked up by Morgan's Minions, so we have the Divine Shield for Thrall, we have the Cleanse, a very solid pick here. They do now need some frontline, need a warrior to fit in with this.
I mean, they could go for Stitches here. I personally expect that we are rather seeing something like along the lines of a Johanna maybe, who's extremely powerful. But we've seen already Stitches play not only after the patch, but before. And this setup is actually not too bad with the Stitches. You get the hook in, you use Uther as the pre-stun, then you have Kel'Thas with another wind, you have Thrall also. So on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, where you are always in the middle fighting for those Immortals, Stitches can actually be kind of nice, and you have a Tyrande that you can hook, you have a Reyna that you hook. Even if you get that hook on ETC, I mean, you have to have that stun ready, because if you don't, and that guy drops the mosh pit, then you look pretty silly. But still, it's actually one of the heroes that I could definitely see as a last pick for Morgan's minions here. First, they start things off with the Leoric, though, which is also kind of nice. But Stitches is definitely something that we should keep in the back of our head, because it would actually complement the lineup quite nicely.
Yeah, this is a map where you're not going to get too many globes for the Hungry for More talent for Stitches, but it does have other talents as well, which he can run in here. Picking the Leoric is kind of interesting because it's a warrior without the extra stun to interrupt ETC. They're currently relying on the heroes they have already, Sundering, the Kael'thas, Gravity Lapse, and Uther, if he can time it rightly or come in from the correct angle.
Yeah, and well, as you can see now, Euronics currently in a position where they are waiting for a long time, and they go for the double heal currently. They have Tyrande and Tassadar rushing in, so that's going to be an interesting comp for them, and they could really lean towards the damage build on Tyrande. Oftentimes on other maps you see that with the Seasoned Marksman on level 1. On this map, it's a bit questionable if they would go for it, but Tassadar alone, that's a lot of sustain that they have. There's a lot of vision, of course, on the map too. I would still like them with, yeah, maybe even a melee assassin at the front line here, considering what they have. Maybe a Sonya could really help them in this case. The problem is that there's a fair amount of stun on the other side. I'm not really sure if Sonya is the perfect pick here. Yeah, but they go for it. They have the Sonya. She can be supported by this, but there are a fair amount of stuns to drop her out of Whirlwind once she starts using it.
Yeah, but those stuns also do need to be saved a little bit for ETC, so it's a question of Morgan's minions spreading out their CC to the correct targets. They finish off their composition with a Valor, a bit more range damage, so that they can stay from range and poke with Kael'thas and Valor very effectively.
Yeah, Vala being used here, good poke, as you already said. We have a solid lineup for them with Leoric, interestingly enough, as the only frontline tank, so a pretty interesting setup here for them as well. It is game number 3, guys. We're going to jump into the game in just a second and going to find out which team will advance to the winner's match. So, yeah, let's jump right in and see which team is going to be successful on Battlefield of Eternity. Game number 3, guys, between Morgan's Minions and Euronics. It's the first game that we cast in this series, but it is the game that will decide which team will advance to face NaVi in the next round. As you can see already, we're currently seeing to the left side Wildkarten here on Vala for Morgan's Minions, Mishko on Uther, we have Amitabha on Leoric, Tazu on Kel'Thas, and Rask on Thrall. The team to the right side, the Polish team, the former team pushing, it's Krolo on Tirana, Kreko on Reyna, we have Uberim on Sonya, Gluhammer on ETC, and Juf on Tassadar in our game. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Double support on the left side of the map for Morgan's Minions, running, actually to the right side of the map, running a Tyrande and also a Tassadar. And to the left side we have an Uther with that cleanse ability, of course, if Tyrande is trying to put someone in a stun lock and snipe them out.
Right now we're seeing a bit of a trap set in the middle of the map, but no one falling for it. They were just hanging around the bush waiting to see if anyone would riskily walk past there, but they're not going to get anything from it.
And we're seeing something else. We've talked about it in the last game, and it's actually kind of interesting that this happens, because right now we have block taken on Leoric as level 1, and we've been discussing this a little bit in the last game that we that we casted with NaVi, that block sometimes can be a good option for Leoric. Oh wow, first of all, Kel'Thas is getting completely wrecked. The attempted counter kill against Uberim is not successful, but the first blood here for Euronics, well played here. But yeah, Leoric can make sense to really go for block on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, where you don't get a lot of stacks, but of course reanimation is such an amazing talent that in, I suppose, like 90% of the cases you will see it taken. Even on this map, a lot of players go into reanimation. It's an amazing talent to have, but sometimes it can make sense to go for block, and in this case, Amitabha has decided to use that option.
Yeah, the stacks are going to be a bit difficult to get hit. You're spending so much time in the middle of the map. We do see some globe talents, though. We see the very standard Mana Addict from the Kael'Thas, and Kundra's Pursuits coming in from 2 of the supports, that Uther and the Tassadar.
Yeah, the top lane already an attempt to go for Rask. Oh, nice.
Oh, there's a
Is that gonna work?
Star.
I'm not sure if that is gonna work
nice
for him. Okay, he gets away. But yeah, that was actually like one of those cases where you could really see that he didn't even demount because he knew that there were a lot of players not visible on the map, so there was always the risk that exactly that trap was laid for him. So therefore, Thrall just trying to stay on the mount in experience range. And this is something that you oftentimes have to do to make sure that you're staying safe. If you would have tried to actually take down these minions, he would have died for sure here. And now with the first Immortal in the game, both of them are just like trying to burst him down to half health. The halftime show already starting, and then we're going to see which team is going to be able to pick up the first objective.
Yeah, Euronics do have the classic Tyrande burst because they can vulnerable that Immortal, but need to be careful because Morgana's minions, Morgan's minions not having any of it. They're moving in to defend their Immortal and see if they can get a quick kill, maybe with the help of an Immortal stun.
Yeah, for now they are just like trying to defend, of course, and we still have that poke going on that we've been already talking about earlier. On this map, you oftentimes try to just get a bit of poke damage in from a safe distance. Gluehammer, Kreku, Uberim, they're already looking for killers. They know that Thrall is at the left side, already working with the Immortal. They're going in for the kill, and they get it. Kalthas once again down. Juve moving in from the top now too. They go for the Immortal, and they try to burst him down, and this is looking extremely good for Euronics here. They have level 4 now as well, with the Searing Arrow on the side of Tyrande. A double focus attack on not only Sonya, but also in this case Reyna, and they are still they're still chasing, but they don't get another kill. 2 kills for them already and an Immortal. That's what they have to make do with. And I guess that's actually like a pretty good start for them.
Yeah, they're looking pretty nice. Kalthas just not with the protection needs right now to deal with this incredible burst. We do see the Searing Arrows for the Tyrande, so going with a bit of a damage build at the moment, quite interestingly. Going to try and push this in, and does validate that block choice of Leoric that little bit more.
Yeah, well, the Immortal is doing quite a fair amount of damage down here, breaking through the entire wall. Top lane, that's where Tassadar and Thrall are facing each other, and Gluehammer, as the main tank at the front line, is currently, well, he welled up and has his hit point pulled back up, but we have now level 6 versus level 5, so entire level lead already for Euronics, and they have a very aggressive start into this game. Juve a bit greedy, going for the Conjurer's Pursuit. It's a bait though, and Rask took it. Juve moves away, the rest of the team is already there.
Oh, that's a bad way to run.
It's a bad way to run, but he's buying a lot of time, I suppose. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
He's not in tower range here. The minions don't demount him. Nope, there they are. Needs some Wind Fury. If he wants to get out of here, ETC. Oh, he's trying to juke. Oh, no, ETC knows. There's the knockback. Dodge it. Roots ETC, though, gets stunned up. Completely surrounded now. Gets a bit of Frostwolf resilience off. Tower's still getting it. There's the stuff from the keep, and that will be enough.
All right, that was kind of cute, though. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they spend a lot of time chasing him, and in the meantime, the lanes were still soaked. So don't worry, boys. It's not like they dedicated 4 or 5 heroes to chase him down, but they still had 1 hero on each lane. Level 7 is a little bit faster for them. After the 2 power slide talents, after rolling like a stone and double neck guitar, we now see the loudspeakers for face melt taken. Well, that was actually a pretty fun move that we saw there from Thrall.
Yeah, it let Morgan's minions actually get one of the towers bot lane. They very nearly got the second, but it was saved by some clutch Tassadar shields. Uther now in a little bit of trouble, getting focused out. Sonya dying off screen there. And we see the rest of Morgan's minions coming in to help out Uther here. And see if they can maybe get a turn kill by Katten, dodge out Gluehammer, and they're able to stay sustained. And they're just going to be able to clear the lane.
Yeah, we are by now also level 7, and that's finally the time when we see Cleanse on the side of Uther, so that's going to help against that stun lockdown that we have from Tyrande. Awesome's Renewal taken for Leoric, a bit more self-sustained for him at the front line here, as he is the solo tank in the team. Makes a whole lot of sense for him. Up at the top, on the other hand, the kill against Vala happened here, and that's of course pretty bad now for Morgan's minions, since the Immortal is again on the map. We see a camp taken to the left side as Tasso and Nishko are going straight for that Bruiser camp, but the Immortal is already bursted down. Kreku and the rest of Euronics is already at work here, and they are dropping it easily down to half health.
Yeah, Morgan's minions, they're very unlucky to lose Valor there, as Uther had literally just left the lane, so he was not there to cleanse and heal, and as such, Valor was picked off. But now Morgan's minions looking to maybe set up a trap for when Euronics tried to come back up to finish off the Immortals here, but Euronics just playing a little bit safer. We see Tastar has been soaking the top lane this entire time, and he's finally coming to join ETC up at the top Immortal.
And they're actually starting to take down the shields a bit, but here we have once again Euronics are starting to move in too. We have Gluehammer pushing everybody away, but he's in the middle of 5 heroes. The burst down to the bot lane seems to be a bit faster on the other hand, especially of course with Khaldor using Tyrande here. And the trade, they're going for an easy kill, and that is going to be another Immortal for the team. Immortal number 2 now on the side of Euronics, and they are still fighting in the middle, especially putting the pressure onto Leoric. Netherwind is missing, the chain bombs don't, and we have Gluehammer straight moving in. Doesn't have Mosh Pit just yet, level 10 hasn't hit for the team yet, but they have still a solid level lead over Morgan's minions.
Yeah, and they will have level 10 very soon, thanks to this Immortal pushing up. They managed to get the start to Kael'thas again, and down goes Kael'thas, just having a huge time with this burst, and he's still many levels and 3 talent sets off, getting his arcane barrier to try and sustain this.
Yeah, Kael'thas has a couple of position problems here. Nice, well done with the Mosh Pit. They get another kill against Leoric here. Of course, Gluehammer has to be careful. He nearly died too, but he can escape. And with the help of the Immortal, they are now about to take the first fort in the game. Very well played here by Euronics. And they always see when Kael'thas moves out a bit too far, and they just jump on him and punish him for it. So Tazu has to be careful here. He's one of the priority targets for the opponent's team, and he needs to play a bit more passive than he did so far.
Yeah, he is just playing behind his wall for the moment, cannot risk it, as is the rest of his team. Mortal will go down here, the Hyperion coming in as well, just doing a bit of harassment and starting with a tiny bit of damage onto those buildings, thanks to that laser.
Yeah, Vala, mistakes were made, bad life choices, but she actually gets away because Gluehammer missed the slide. So even though she was extremely low in hit points already, she survives for now. We have still I mean, look at that level difference. It's nearly 2 levels that they are ahead right now. It is 2 levels that they are ahead. Level 10 is going to drop now for Morgan's minions as well, but it's the big question if they can capitalize on them finally fighting on the heroic abilities too. They have already Entomb for Leoric, which surprises me a bit, to be honest. He is the solo tank here, so I thought he would go for March of the Black King, since it's also a bit of a sustain talent for him. We have him with Entomb, Sundering, there's also of course Phoenix, Divine Shield, and it looks like, at least for now, Vala has not made a choice yet. Oh, but Rask is down on Thrall, and it is Reign of Vengeance on Vala, which also explains the delay here on the talent.
Yeah, Euronics taking a lot of time to just roam around the map and get kills, leaving Tastar to solo lane a lot here. And he is just able to do basically what he wants. He is Scumbag Task, just able to Dimensional Shift, Shield, Force Wall. It's very, very hard to catch him and very hard to pick him out.
Yeah, and for now we have also camps taken on the map. I mean, overall, I really like the way that Euronics is playing this. They were extremely aggressive at the beginning of the game. They're roaming across the map the entire time, as you already mentioned. Tassadar is usually the one they leave behind to soak experience. And they just capitalize on the advantages that they have. They go into the earlier level 10, they push with it. They don't only take a fort, but they put incredible damage onto the wall at the keep. And they're always on the lookout for another kill. And by now they have still that 2-level lead and the level 13 talent, which puts them now into a position with Face Melt. They have also Hunter's Fury taken, which got, of course, improved also in the last patch. Its duration has been buffed to 4 seconds now. So that's actually pretty sweet too. And Double Barreled is also taken here.
Yeah, getting that extra knockback, maybe just a bit of extra CC, something to maybe knock people into the mosh pit, and of course a bit of disengage for when the enemy tries to engage onto him, and like it too, can just knock back Leoric, give himself an escape route.
And this is going to be nearly 100% Immortal that we have now in the game for Euronics, and things are really looking bad for Morgan's minions. They need to win a team fight. They need to, at some point, reach the same talent level and then win a team fight. They get another camp stolen away. They might actually even lose Thrall. He uses Sundering and is able to escape because of it. But next to the Immortal, we also see now that Bruiser camp coming into play here for them. They are looking at an incredible advantage now in this third match, in this deciding game between the two teams.
Yeah, and Euronics pushing in here with Mosh Pit still available and Hyperion for the follow-up damage. Immortal barely took any damage wiping through that fort. And now they are beginning to push into the keep. A nice owl from Tyrande gaining some vision. They have found what has been their target the entire game, Tazu with that, who is trying to drop as much damage as he can, but he's still a level off getting those chain bombs.
Yeah, Rask is also moving away now. He was soaking a bit more experience for his team at the top. He actually stays and goes now for the towers too. Here comes once again ETC, moved in, interrupt the Divine Shield, and the ult dropped by Vala gets away for now. But we have still so much damage being put out here by Euronics, and they drop the keep, they take it down. They are in an incredible position. 2.5 levels now ahead. And they don't stop there. They want to finish the game. They go for core 11 minutes in. They still have that Immortal around. Finally, we have also now Thrall back to business. They go for Tacita. Here comes the Sundering, but the core is down. The game is over. Morgan's minions are defeated, and we see Euronics go up against NaVi in the winners match of the Enter the Storm playoffs Group A.
Okay, everybody, that's it for the day. We had some really fun games here, and I hope that you enjoyed them and also the commentary. Of course, we're going to have more Heroes of the Storm action on the channel in the near future. So if you enjoy the esports scene, Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you hit that subscribe button on Khaldor TV and also like the video if you haven't done that yet already. There's going to be more European games. We're going to have more North American matches as well. And of course, if you're interested in the Chinese Heroes of the Storm esports scene, I'm going to have more games on the channel as well in the near future as those leagues start again. At the same time, though, if you have friends that are also interested in esports and in Heroes of the Storm, make sure that you forward the channel to them and share it with them. It was a pleasure casting for you today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed, as I already mentioned, and I hope to see you next time for more Heroes of the Storm action here on Khaldor TV. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.